It's on. Alright. Turn this damn TV on. I wanted to talk about how sometimes I might feel like some people starting to trying to like take what I say and turn things around on me. You know what I mean? And it's like, look, what I was talking about, the fact that you know, I wasn't slow learning disability classes, whatever you call it, EP or ESP or whatever it's called. You know, I was in those classes since I can remember, since I was like 9, 10 years old. I was in them classes, and I'm not making fun of nobody. You know, trying to you know, I'm not making fun of nobody. This is my real life. All right, I'm not faking and playing around, perpetrating like I'm talking about somebody else's life. Nah, this is my life. This is my life. This is really me. You know what I'm saying? This is what I went through as an adolescent, as a child. You know what I mean? And that's why I was saying that I was in, you know, I had a slow learning disability. I'm more hands on. I can do, you know, as far as me, I might not be like book smart and all that stuff, but I'm self taught, because as you get older, you start to educate yourself more. You educate yourself more. But I'm self taught. But I'm not gonna get all upset, because I kind of feel like, you know, a person's like taking my stuff and like twisting it around. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the only person that had a slow learning disability. You know what I mean? It was in classes, special ed classes. You're not the only one. There's a lot of people out there that were in slow learning disability, that had a SLD or whatever you call it. You know, and they were in them. They were in them classes where they kind of separated us from the population of the school. You know, to try to special tutor us. Because you got to understand that there's so many distractions. You know, even 20 years ago, there's so many distractions. You know, not only that, but the parents don't have time to teach the kids. The parents got bills, they got work, they got their own life that they got to deal with, on top of try to help a kid with his homework. You know, so they're not always aware, you know, of, hey, my kid needs help with his homework. You know, they might help him or whatever, but he might need some special attention, to where you actually, you know, he could sit him down, turn the TV off, you know, turn that TV off, take that stuff away from him that's distracting him and him losing his focus and what he needs help in. Don't try to play the blame game. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like I said, parents got their own stuff to deal with, which that's totally understood. As a kid, you don't quite get that. You know what I mean? Because you're not thinking like that as an adult. You know, you're not thinking like, hey, you know, my mom, she can't help me right now, or something like that, or my dad, they're too busy, they got work, they got bills and all this stuff they got to pay, and they got to keep running and making money and, you know, doing this and doing that. You know, just the stress of their reality. You know, so, you know, I was hooked on, you know, they put me on Adderall, they put me on Ritalin first. They put me on Ritalin first when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. Then that wasn't strong enough, so they put me on Adderall, and I was taking like two 20 milligram Adderalls. That's 40 milligrams a day I was taking. Now, they were like, man, why do you stay up all night? Go to sleep. I couldn't sleep because I was. You gotta understand that stuff stays. It's hard for you to eat. I was a bag of bones. You know what I mean? It was like, um, when I took that stuff, it was like, man, that's like methane or whatever. It's like methane, amphetamine. It's salt. You know what I mean? You take that stuff and it's like it keeps you. It's a stimulant, so it keeps you focused. You know what I mean? It keeps you focused and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, you can accomplish some things by taking it, but there's nothing better than just actually sitting down, turning the TV off, keeping people away from you so you can focus and not be distracted. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You gotta be able to focus your mind on what you want to get done. Because that's what it does. It's a stimulant to helps you concentrate on one thing. And so it's like, look, damn flies, but I had my window open. But I mean, it's like, it's a stimulant, and it helps you. You know what I mean? It helps you to focus, to concentrate, and get stuff done. That's why a lot of people have ADHD and ADD, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyper disorder. You know what I mean? Some kids are really hype, some kids are calm. You know what I mean? And they their focus is like they got a short attention span like a dog. You know what I mean? Like you gotta train them to, actually focus. To focus their mind. And a lot of kids still need that, but there's just so much going on nowadays. You know what I mean? But before I get off the subject, it's like I got so much to talk about. See now, like I can't focus. I'm just pinging around, but I'm trying to cover all the stuff I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But it's like, they gotta focus. They gotta focus and stay focused on what needs to be done. If you got schoolwork, and you now don't get me wrong, when you take that Adderall and you actually concentrate, you're concentrated, man. It's like it makes learning fun. See, because when I was younger, learning wasn't fun to me. It was kind of strenuous on my brain. You know what I mean? But as I got older, as I started getting older, I started comprehending more, my comprehension, reading more, reading a lot more. When I was locked up, that's all I used to do was read books. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to go to jail to read books. You could just, you know what I mean? You could start reading now. Like you see all the smart weirdos, you should call them weirdos, but knowledge is power. You know what I mean? You gotta educate yourself. You gotta be, if nobody's gonna teach you, teach yourself. Be self-taught. But you gotta stay focused. But like I said, I was in them classes, the slow learning disability, with the special ed, whatever you want to call it. I was in them classes with all the crazies and all that. People fighting in class and just cutting up. We just had a blast in class. For real. We just had a blast in class, man. But don't try to steal that either, man. I know y'all trying to capitalize on you know what I mean, us poor people. You know what I mean? Y'all be trying to capitalize on us and shit. You know what I mean? That's why I always pay attention to my words. But anyways, to the fact that You know, like, it'll keep you up. You know, when I was taking that Adderall and stuff, man, it would keep me up. You know, it would keep me up all night, damn near all night. You know, then I barely would eat. I barely would eat a lot. Like I would eat, but it was just like, man, I'm not really hungry. You know what I mean? Like you're on like a high like that. You're on this high. You know what I mean? That you really ain't even trying to. You're really not even hungry. It makes you not hungry at all. Like, I mean, you gotta force yourself to eat. Is my phone still on? Yep, 10 minutes. You know, you gotta force yourself to eat. You know. You pick up, you know, you definitely eat some junk, like bag of chips or soda. You probably eat that right away. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like, you know, to where it would make you not really hungry. And then here it comes, you know, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. You know, your kids are usually in bed by like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night for school. You know, they get up and go to school the next morning. But with you being on that the stimulant, you can't go to sleep till like 3, 4 in the morning. And then here you go, you gotta get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you only slept 3 or 4 hours. You know what I mean? You only slept 3 or 4 hours. You know, and now it's like, now I gotta go back to school, and I'm gonna be tired, and I'm gonna be hungry, and I gotta take this other 40 milligrams. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but so you doing that every day. Then the weekends I wouldn't take it. Then that's when I would eat. You know what I'm saying? That's when I would eat and, you know, put on a couple pounds. Because I would actually be hungry from going almost that whole week with barely eating anything. You know? But like I said, that's why I experienced so many different things. You know what I mean? From not eating and you know, like it's like I was fasting, I didn't even know it. You know, I was fasting, like I fasting, and I didn't even know it because I was freaking, you know, always on the go. Every time when I would leave, every time when I get home, I go straight out and go hang out with my friends. I try to do my homework in school. You know, and like I said, when I was taking that medication, I was getting good. You know, I was getting A's and B's, good grades. You know what I mean? Because I was actually applying myself. I was applying myself, my learning. You know, I was applying myself to getting stuff done. Versus, I ain't doing this. This looks like too much reading. This book, I ain't reading this book. You know, but then it actually made learning fun. You know. It made learning fun. Instead of learning being boring, it actually made it pretty fun. Because now you know how to do things, and you always feel good about yourself when you know how to do things. You know what I mean? When you accomplish something, or you accomplish a goal, it makes you feel good about yourself. You know, hey, I did this myself. You know, by the grace of God, with the help of God and Him giving me the ability to do this, you know, you accomplish something. So, you know what I mean? Don't, you know, you like, I'm for real. Like when I say this, I'm being for real. I'm not playing around, acting like I'm retarded or nothing like that. You know, making fun of somebody else because I actually went through the same, you know, I actually went through the same thing. I don't even know if a lot of people were on Adderall or if they had to take any Adderall, any type of substance to control them, you know, to get things done. You know? That's why people didn't like when I didn't talk. You know, they're like, oh, we don't know what you're thinking. You know, why don't you talk to us? We don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, because you got me on these drugs. Because honestly, you know, you're too lazy to help out and try to sit me down and for a couple hours you can't take the time because you got your own life that you have to tend to, you know, and you know that's what they do. That's what they do. Oh, we don't know what he's thinking about. You know, what is he thinking? Like, yeah, y'all got me on a controlled substance, Adderall. A prescription. I'm prescribed. I was prescribed a substance to take every day, 40 milligrams. You know what I mean? 40 milligrams of every day I had to take, so that I could go to school and be a normal person. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't play around with I don't play around with nobody, and I know for a fact that God always had my back. I don't care about, oh, he's talking about God. I don't care. If you don't like God, don't even look at this video, because a lot of stuff I talk about is going to be talking about God, and it's got God in it. You know what I mean? So don't even look at this video if you got a problem with God. Bye, because I don't want to see you. You know what I mean? I don't want your energy around me if you don't even care about God. You know what I mean? Because God has been in my life this whole time. This whole time he's been in my life. You know what I mean? And he watches over us. He watches over us. He always been watching over me. You know what I mean? He always been watching over me. And that's who I'm rocking with. The devil don't care nothing about you. You know what I mean? The devil gives you stuff and takes it right back. God will give you something and let you keep it, but you got to maintain. Of course, you got to maintain it, unless you just lose it on your own just from being foolish or something like that. But if you got God's favor in your life, you're gonna always bounce back. You're gonna always get back up on where you need to be. You know what I mean? He's gonna always put you right back where you need to be. All you gotta do is stay humble and stay focused and treat people right. Be respectful. Be who you are. I'm not gonna run around acting like this person and that person, because that's not me.